What's up, boys? Data782 here with episode 11 of Fixing the Franchise, here with the Anaheim Ducks as we enter year number 4, the 2022-2023 regular season. Now, in this episode, it's going to be a bit of an unusual thing. I recorded the entire episode, and then I realized that my mic was cutting in and out like crazy. So what I've done is I'm playing the video, I turn the audio off, and I'm going to give my own commentary over the video as it goes. So as I'm looking at the lines, I'm going to comment on what I'm doing. Hopefully I can remember everything that I said. I'm looking at the lines right now as I read over some of the comments. Max Kids Brody told me great draft. Thank you, Bello. Ponder told me I should trade Adam Henrique. Massimo Biagione says trade Byfield to free up space for Henrique on the third or fourth line. He doesn't think Byfield will grow. And then Michael Bruno Fazeli says, see how the team plays with Henrique, then see how the team plays with Morin, and then compare what you prefer. So as I'm looking at the lines right now, I have Adam Henrique on the second line, and I want to try him out, but then I'm looking at different combos, and I see if I put Owen Tippett here on the first line, it gives both lines a +3, so the entire top 6 has a +3. Tippett plays like an 87, Steele plays like an 87, Olofsson plays like an 88, and then on the second line, which has been so dominant, Raquel, Henrique, and Comtois are all +3s. Jesper Helmersson, Shane Wright, and Mats Lindstrom are all +1s, which is like the kid line down there. All my top prospects are up there. So I don't mind that. Now I change up the lines here. I get Delorier out. And now we have Owen Tippett, Yoel Armia on the fourth line with Byfield and Sherwood gives it a +1 once again. So the entire lineup is plussed. And things are looking pretty good. So what I want to do is try out the lineup with and without Adam Henrique. Quentin Byfield, I don't like how he's not really growing. He's only 80 overall. I've seen some franchise modes where at this point he's 83 plus. Putting Shane Wright on the first line would give it a +3 as well, but Shane Wright is the bigger prospect on this team. If I do put Morand on the second line, it still keeps the +3, so that's not a bad thing. Antoine Morand. So I wouldn't mind doing that either. It would not be a bad idea. So either Henrique or Morand fit in the line. Now the question just is, who do we put and who is going to perform better? So that's why I like what Mike said, where maybe just try out both, see who plays better, and trade the person who doesn't play better. Then we go to defense, and the pairs look like this. If I go Fowler, Gooley, Lindholm, Edmondson, Ekholm, Larson, it gives a +3, a +1, a +1. I don't like that Ekholm's down on the third pair, and I hate that he's it's like gives him plus the full bar on the third pair. So the same with Lindholm, full bar on the third pair almost. These guys are my best defensemen. I don't want them playing at the bottom being buried. Meanwhile, Gooley and Edmondson and Larson, who are 81s, 82s, get all the play time. So I'm not really impressed with that. I know it has to do with the coach and all that, but our coach is very good, has a very high team fit. We won the cup with him, so I don't think I'm going to change the coach just yet. I did look at some coaches, as you'll see, I think, later in this episode. I'm going to try Lindholm with Fowler up on the top pair because I know it's only a +1, but I just prefer having them there. And then Edmondson and, was it Gooley? Or Edmondson and Larson, whoever the second pair was, gets a +3, which I like as well. Person will be our 7th D to slot in for anything, and we're going to roll with that. The trade box is going to look like this heading into the season with Henrique, Byfield, and Morand. The surplus and the wants are all fixed for a second line forward, a top 4D, a top 2D. I'm not looking to trade Byfield necessarily. It's more Henrique or Morand that I'd be looking to trade. And I'm going to go to the trade finder here, I believe, to check out what some of the possible trades could be if I were to trade those people. So looking first at Adam Henrique, if I click on him and I see what's available, it tells me nothing, so I'd have to go and find a trade myself because no trades are found on the open block or the trade block. However, if I go to Antoine Morand and see what's available with him, it tells me a third in Travis Hamonic, a first, a third, and a prospect. Pretty solid offers, although Buffalo is a really good team, so their first wouldn't be as valuable. Jamie Drysdale here is a very interesting proposition because he is a good prospect defenseman. Last episode, we were dying for prospect defensemen. He's 74 overall, 20 years old, offensive defenseman. In the OHL last season, I'm going to see his points here in a second. He's also top 4 D potential. He had 64 points in 63 games in the OHL. So a good prospect D for Antoine Morand. So keep that in mind. And now I go back to look at some of the other trades that are possible. Jean-Luc Foudy from the Carolina Hurricanes is another prospect that's very interesting. He has medium top 6 potential, 74 overall, 20 years old. With the Spitfires last season, he scored 83 points in 62 games as a playmaking center. So that's another interesting thing right there. Another prospect to keep in mind. Then if I keep looking through, Dominic Bach, Nybeck, Dennis Savard, good picks, high draft picks, a first from Florida, starter potential goalie, Ryan Suter, Calvin DeHaan, third, Kyle Turris, Threlfall, and a couple third-round picks, which is another good one. Justin Barron, who I was begging for last episode, now they offer him to me. The Rangers do. So that's another interesting one to look at. Matthew Robertson, former Brooklyn Bellow, Stutzel, and a couple thirds. Malatesta, Canucks, Holtby, not Braden Holtby, but B. Holtby, a forward prospect with a couple picks, Hoglander and a pick, Bales and a pick, Vigilante, couple thirds. Connor McMichael is another one to keep in mind, as well as Karpatsev that the Capitals are offering me. So if I go look at Connor McMichael here, he is, I believe, a 75 overall medium top 6 center, at 21 years old, two-way forward. And last year in the OHL, I went too fast. I think that was 90 points in 63 games, 90-something points. And then if I go look at the other defenseman they were offering me, who was Karpatsev, right there, medium top 4D, 18 years old, 64 overall, but he's a defensive defenseman, so pass on him. So that's another interesting. Maximilian Setzinger, by the way, 82 overall now. Grinder, 4-star defense, 5-star physical. He's going to be a very good player. I love this guy, but it's just, Shane Wright is much better in the long run. But very, very glad to see Setzinger doing well. He's a big bellow. So keep all those prospect trades in mind as we start simming the season. And let me know, well, there's going to be more questions throughout this episode, but if you really like that trade, let me know as well. Going back here, Jamie Drysdale, big bellow. That's probably the one that I would do if I were to make a trade right now, but I don't do it just yet. Now I'm speaking in the past tense a little bit. So with that all having been said, starting out the season with Adam Henrique, we are going to begin simulation. We'll go through the preseason, see how things look right off the bat. Not going to do that. Are you serious? 2 first-round picks for Peugeot. Start simulating. Matt Luff signs for San Diego, which helps us out. And then Owen Tippett signs his extension, which was 2 years at like 2.5, which with him playing on the first line right now with a +3 is an 87 overall, very happy to have him locked up at that price. Now continue on simulating through the preseason. Things are looking good. We're going to end with a winning record. Now, salary cap compliance, I just clicked OK on that. Sadly, I should have fixed it a little bit because it ended up, I'm going to see later on that Raquel and Ekholm ended up getting their salaries increased a little bit because I wasn't at the cap floor, I don't think. But whatever. Through the preseason, 8 points in 7 games for Raquel, 7 and 7 for Henrique, looking good. 6 and 7 for Comtois, 6 for Olafsson, 5 for Tippett, Helmerson, Byfield looking good with 3 goals, Armia. Everyone looking pretty good. Looking pretty good so far. No comments to make thus far, just that Henrique is possibly the front runner a little bit. Now, looking at coaches here, Ernesto Petrovic, he has a 72% team fit. Now, the question is, does it matter if your assistant coaches and associate coaches have good team fits? Because if it does, I'm thinking about firing my other associate coaches, and I'll fire this guy, Ernesto Petrovic. This guy could even be our head coach with that kind of team fit. It doesn't matter what their overall is. It's all about the team fit and how it's going to give pluses to everybody. On my coaching staff, I don't want to replace Gilbert Hull, but I wouldn't be opposed to changing Saul Allen or someone like that, but it doesn't tell me their team fit. That's the problem. It only tells me if they're happy and how what the bar is at for coaching staff and player relationships and things like that. Seems like he's good enough, so I'm not going to touch anything yet. Then I look at Gostad here, look at his bar. Bit higher, but the big question is just, does it matter that the associate coach has high team fit, or does it not matter at all? So that would be something for you to let me know if you know about coaching, because I just hate this stuff. I don't know much about it. That's going to be it for coaching, though, because now if I look at Gilbert Hull, he is at a 72% team fit as well. Just waiting to get there. There we go. 72% team fit. Once also low on Lindholm for some reason, and a bit low on Shane Wright, but everyone else is really high. Fowler high, Olofsson high, Raquel high. Those are the important ones. So I'm going to keep it like that for now, but let me know if you know anything that I don't about coaching, because that would be very helpful. But with all that having been said, we are now going to hop into the regular season with Adam Henrique starting it out. And then those are the lines in San Diego that I just fixed, putting Matt Luff in the lineup. Things look pretty good. Pedro Pacioretty is our first line center from Denmark. And now here at the Honda Center, we will begin year number 4, game number 1, up against the Arizona Coyotes. So let's see what we can do with the defending Stanley Cup champion Anaheim Ducks. Let's go. First period, 1 goal for the Anaheim. I'm all over the place. 1 goal for the Coyotes. Second period, Raquel Comtois, and Comtois gets 2 on Mr. Darcy. It's a 3-3 tie here in the third period of the first game of the regular season. So Comtois at 2 goals. Very happy to see that. He has a good +3 on that second line. Adam Henrique, okay, there you are, Bello. He saw that I was watching, and he wanted to put on a little bit of a show for me. We're up 4-3 now. A lot of shots for both sides. It's quite the offensive game, but that 4-3 scoreline will be enough to carry us through, and we are into... And we have a record of 1-0 to start the season. You love to see it. So I'm going to simulate the first 10-ish games or so, and then I want to check out the points and see how Adam Henrique is looking, especially after the first 10 games. So let's go up to and including the game against the Winnipeg Jets. Go see how Josh Mahura and Isaac Lundstrom are doing. So actually, yeah, right here I made a little mistake. I simmed through it because I wasn't recording and I was a degenerate. But up to here, we are now 6-5-1. Big issues this episode. Recording, sound, everything. So we're 6-5-1 through the first 12 games of the season. Not a great record, but we're hanging on. Okay, so after the game against the Winnipeg Jets, I put Antoine Morand into the lineup. We beat the Capitals, and we lost against the Hurricanes. So things are looking okay for Adam Henrique, I believe. I forgot the amount of points that he had exactly, but now is the trial of Antoine Morand. This is when his trial began. We beat the Rangers, we lost to the Oilers, and we lost big to the Jets. And now I'm going to see this game up against the Kings and see how we do against them with Morand still in the lineup. So first period here, Hampus Lindholm scores on the power play. Second period, Mats Lindstrom on the power play. Pure monster sniper. In the third period, up 2-0 over the LA Kings, who are a good team this season. Last year they were terrible. Jesper Helmerson scores there to make it 3-0. Sillinger breaks the shutout for Gibson. But that's going to be enough as Victor Olofsson ices it, and we take a 3-goal lead, and we will win this one 4-1 the final. Gibson, 26 saves on 27 shots. And now it's time to check out the points. And we are 8-7-1 up to this point through the first 16 games. So Victor Olofsson, 20 points in 16 games, looking good. Steele, very nice as well with 19. So coming down, Adam Henrique had 6 points in 10 games with 5 goals. Very good. But then Antoine Morand had 4 points in 6 games, so also very good. I also switched around the defensive pairings because of the plus-minuses. So not seeing much improvement, though. That's the problem. Ekholm's a -6, is it? Or a -5? I can't see on this mini screen that I'm looking at on my computer. But I'm not liking Ekholm so far. I'm a bit disappointed, actually. And his salary went up to 6.1, which I'm upset with. I don't know why it forces you to do that, and I can't just tell you. You can't, like, I don't know. I know it tells you a warning, but, like, it doesn't say anything specific about, like, this player will be increased or whatever. So now, with all that having been said, I'm not liking our record that much. I'm not really happy with Matthias Ekholm. So what I said is that I'm going to look at defensemen now. So I looked up in the trade finder. I'm looking at all top 4D who are around 85 overall and fit into the scheme. So Colton Parayko fits on penalty kill 1, gone. Defensive defenseman, see you later. Ryan Murray, defensive pairing 3, gone. Esa Lindell, pairing 3, gone. Jakub Slavin, the top 4 defensive pairing, all penalty kill lines, okay. That is acceptable. 3 years left at 4.760, 28 years old, same overall, 4 years younger. Brady Shea, defensive pairing 3, gone. Pionk, power play, penalty kill doesn't tell me enough, gone. Sami Vatanen, former Anaheim legend. All penalty kill lines doesn't tell me enough, gone. Jake Muzzin, top 4D, okay, but he's a bit old and costs a lot, so no, I don't think. That's pretty much everyone there. Tony DeAngelo, Shea Theodore, former pairing 3 gone, another former Duck. So it looks like Jakub Slavin is the option right now. He does have a good amount of value, the same amount as Ekholm it seems, maybe even a little bit less. So I'd like to get him from the Hurricanes. Not a very good team this year. He's a two-way D, very good defensive stats, man of God. He's a bellow, so I'd like to trade Ekholm and maybe a little bit to see if I can get Jakub Slavin. Going straight up is not going to work because of the salary cap, so I'd have to take somebody back to make that work. And that someone will be Alex Steen, who's 80 overall, 1 year left on his contract, good depth, better than Nick Delorier to draw into the lineup if there's any injuries. Wouldn't mind bringing him on a cup run if I could bring him. They don't want to do that because they do want Ekholm, but they don't want to trade Slavin. So now I go to draft picks, see if I can add a little bit to the deal. So I added Trent McPherson to the deal right here because he is a medium elite, 48 overall, 18 years old goaltender. Chris Chong was telling me that I should try to trade as soon as possible. So I threw him in the deal with a second and a third. With a first and a fifth on the other side, they say no. With a sixth and a seventh on the other side, they will say no. With a sixth, they say yes. Okay, so I get Alex Steen, a first, a sixth, and Jakub Slavin in exchange for Ekholm, the goaltender McPherson, and a second and a third. So that first could really become something because they're not really a good team. On the defensive pairings with Jakub Slavin up on the top, it gives the line a +3. I'm going to keep Lindholm, Edmondson, and Larson Gooley with their +1s because I don't want to put Lindholm on the bottom pair. But Slavin on the top 3 seems to fit. He fits on the power play. If you see the check mark on the top right, I think it's the forwards that are hurting the defensive, the penalty kills. So, but Jakub Slavin fits in the penalty kill. He fits on the first line. He's going to be 88 overall with that +3. His line scheme fit is all the way at the top of the bar. So I'm really liking this deal. Man of God, Jakub Slavin, love him. I hope he's going to work out. Ekholm just wasn't working, and we had to just move on. So with that done, now we can continue simulating and see how that works. Moran remains in the lineup for a little bit more. Slavin draws into the top pair with Fowler, our captain. And now let's go up to and including this game against the Predators to see how things are looking. Wotherspoon on waivers. We're going to decline that. Now up at the game against Nashville, we had a 3-1 record with some pretty half-decent teams. So, a win's a win, so I'm going to take it. So now we're up against the Nashville Predators. They have a 500 record. Quick early goal there from Yankro on Mrazek. First period ends 1-0. Second period goes from Steele and Moran. Moran sees that I'm in attendance and he wants to perform. He's been doing pretty well, so I'm impressed with that thus far. 2-1 lead here in the third period. It's not the same when it's not live. Owen Tippett scores to make it 3-1. I'm really sorry that all this audio problem happened. It won't happen again, but I'm glad that at least I can put audio over it. Mats Lindstrom on the power play, a pure sniper monster at the point. The power play seems to be working. I know it's 5 forwards on the power play, as I showed earlier. I'm not a big fan that it's 5 forwards, but it gets the +3. And, I'll take it. Comtois has a broken nose, which isn't good, but that allows Henrique to draw into the lineup. So what I'm going to do here, you can't look at stats when you're on the line change because it brings your scouts. But this is how lines are going to look with that change. Henrique becomes third line center. I know it's a 0+, but Lindstrom, if he moves up to the second line, it keeps that +3 in the top 6. So Henrique will draw into the third line, and Shane Wright will move to the wing since his faceoffs aren't great. And that's where we're going to go from now. So let's check out the points now that we're 21 games into the season, a little bit more of a sample size. Sam Steele and Victor Olofsson are tied at the top with 25 points. Moran, 10 points in 11 games, a +3. Man, doing very well. And Adam Henrique, meanwhile, is at 6 points in 10 games. 6 points in 10 games. Byfield, 13 points. Jakub Slavin, since joining us, has 5 points in 5 games and a +7. Monstrous. Very nice addition to that top pair. I'm loving it so far. Henrique, 6 points in 10 games. Not bad at all. Just that Morand is going at a point-to-game pace right now. So it is a bit tempting. But with that all finished, now we continue simulating a little bit more with that bigger sample size as well. And we're going to go up to and including the game against Vegas to see where we're at by then. So we lose against the Flames, beat the Sharks, lose against the Flames, beat the Sharks again, okay. Then we lose against the Kings and win against the Islanders. I think that's it. I'm looking at a really small view screen on the side. But now with 6 more games of sample size, we can check things out again. Morand is now at 14 points in 17 games, so he's still doing quite well. Lindstrom, 13 goals and 7 assists in 27 games. Henrique, 8 points in 16 games. Not too bad. But now Maxime Comtois is ready to go, and he is going to slot back into the second line and bring Lindstrom down, and then that bumps Henrique out of the lineup once again. But let's simulate this game against Vegas before Comtois comes back from his broken nose. We'll give Henrique another chance to put on a little bit of a show. The GM's in attendance. Let's see what you got, Bello. First period, goal from Owen Tippett on Malcolm Subban. Second period, Tippett gets another 2 quick goals in this game. Period ends 4-1. Armia and Lindstrom score. Max Pacioretty on Gibson. We are up 4-1. Close to tripling Vegas' shots. 33-13 right now. Up 4-1 by 3 goals. And I think that's going to be enough, and it will be. So we take that game 4-1, 3 stars. Tippett gets 2 goals. Gibson gets only let in 1 goal, so showing me some good numbers. Cam Fowler has a mild concussion, which isn't great, but that's going to make Joel Persson draw into the lineup. So just while Fowler is out, I'm going to try Lindholm on the bottom pair because Larson, Slavin, Gulli, Edmondson, and Lindholm Persons gives +3s across the board for everyone. So that would be pretty nice. So just for a little bit while Fowler is out, I'm going to be doing that. Once again, apologies for the audio as I'm trying to follow along everything as it goes. It's a one-time thing, won't happen again. But we're going to sim up to and including the game against the, I think it's going to be the Blue Jackets. Yeah, as we get just another 4, 5, 6, we're going to get another 6 games. Hanola's back in the lineup in San Diego. Did that. Slavin, mild concussion, which keeps him out till Christmas Eve. Thankfully, at the same time, Cam Fowler was back. This was a couple games into that 6-game simulation. So fixed up those lines, and that was done. So yeah, we beat the Canucks, we beat the Senators, beat the Flyers, we lost the Canadiens, beat the Rangers. So pretty decent record as we went 4-1. That little 4-1 in that little stretch there. Now we come up against the Columbus Blue Jackets as we are closing in on the end of this episode because we have a lot of questions which I'm going to need your help with. Scandella scores early, 3 goals in this period. Raquel, Morand, and Gulli. Morand knows that the GM is in attendance and he wants to continue to show off. He always does when I show up. Atkinson and Nyquist both score. Lindholm with 9 seconds left ties up this game. We're headed to overtime. If it goes to a shootout, I'll hop in. But we are tied at 4 heading into overtime. But we end it, and it's Morand. 2-goal performance from Antoine Morand with 2 goals, giving him the 2nd star of the game. So now with all that done, we have a record of 21-11-2. Let's check out the scoring. And now we're going to see what we are looking like. Olofsson, 40 points in 34 games, steals at a point per game. Looking at Byfield at 15 points, that's good as well. Adam Henrique, 8 points in 16 games like before. Haven't touched him in a little bit. I know I've been giving a lot of ice time to Morand. Persson had 2 points in the 6 games that he played. Larson's at 9. Plus minuses aren't super great. Quinton Byfield is at 15 points in 34 games. Jakob Slavinson's joining us. 13 points in 17 games with a +13. You just love to see it. He is a monster. Morand, 23 points in 19 points in 24 games. Misread that. So he is looking very good. Mats Lindstrom has 16 goals as well. Gibson's 28-2. Not the best numbers, 899 save percentage and a 2.94 goals against. His record's there though. Looking at all scoring across the NHL, it is Sidney Crosby with 42 points in 31 games leading the way. Olofsson's up there though, 40 points in 34 games. So now simulating another couple of days, Slavin back in the lineup, so we're going to go back to the +3, +1 that we were doing before. Lindholm on the bottom pair gives it a +3, but I don't want to do that. We beat the Stars there as we're closing in on the end of this episode before we got to start making some decisions. But we are playing well. We beat the Coyotes. We beat the Canucks. Divisional rivals. We beat the Vegas Golden Knights. Huge games. These are huge wins. We lose against the Canucks 3-2. We beat the Predators. We beat the Canucks again right there. We're 27-12-2. And now it's time for a Stanley Cup rematch between the Sabres and the Ducks. We're going to see some of our old friends that we traded to Buffalo, Jakob Silfverberg and all the boys, but 2 early goals, Mats Lindstrom on the power play and Sam Steele on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Second period, Lindholm scored to make it 3-0 as we are holding a 3-goal lead over the Buffalo Sabres. Getting flashbacks of when we came back down 3-1 and won the series in 7 games. They just can't score as we kill off more power plays. Up 3-0 power play for us late. They kill that one off. Shots are pretty even, but we take the game 3-0. A big shutout performance from John Gibson. 27 saves for him as we shut out the Sabres 3-0. So at that point, I think we're going to pause here. Our record is 28-12-2. We're looking very good. Olofsson, 46 points in 42 games. Very happy with that. He's among the NHL leaders. But look at Antoine Morin down there. 25 points in 32 games. Mats Lindstrom, 25 goals in 42 games, leading the team in goals. Pure sniper. Tippett not bad with 27 as well, but Morin, 25 points in 32 games plus 14. Looking at, like we said, Adam Henrique, 8 points in 16 games. What do we do with him? That is the question. Now that we're going to take a little pause here. Looking at I think we're going to look at trade value right now. What the trade value of some of these players are. Going to edit lines. We're looking, this is what we're going to look at right here. So do I want to put Byfield on the wing and slot Henrique onto the 4th line center? I don't necessarily have to trade Adam Henrique. I could just make him play 4th line minutes or something. Or I could do a trade that includes one of my first round picks. Because look at these draft picks. Winnipeg and Washington especially, they are both losing teams and their picks have a lot of value. 17-18-4 for the Jets, 18-18-3 for the Capitals. Their value was even a little bit higher like a couple of weeks ago. But at this point where we're taking a pause, pretty high value picks. They may end up being good teams. It's not guaranteed that they're 500 teams. So maybe down the road they make the playoffs and those picks aren't as valuable. Maybe I trade them now. Going through the block now to see if there's anything that piques your interest. Torrey Krug was there. A lot of prospects. Tomasino, Suzuki, Foudy, Taze, David Perron is there. Ryan Murray, Seth Jones could be a big piece. A lot of trade value though. Anthony Mantha, he has a big contract. A lot of first-round picks. Chris Letang, Keith Yandel, Nazem Kadri, Kopitar, Manson, Leddy, Pulak, Threlfall. More first-round picks. Mikhaev, Jokovic, first-round pick. Malatesta, Dermott, first-round picks. Pacioretty, who has 1 year left on his deal. He has 34 points in 36 games. At 86 overall, 1 year left. That could be interesting. Paul Stastny with 1 year left as well. He has, in 40 games, 23 points. Quick maths. McMichael, Lehrer, Dexter, brother of Don Dexter, Brooklyn Bellow legend perhaps. So those are all the people on the trade block. Lots of options, along with us having a lot of assets. So we need to figure out what we're going to do. That's why I'm taking a pause right here. I need you to let me know. Adam Henrique, does he play? Does he get traded? First round picks, do we keep? Do we trade? If we do, then for what? Those are some things on the trade block. Do I want a better backup goalie maybe? Do I want a better second pair defenseman? Maybe a better third line for? Not really. Maybe just for prospects like Jamie Drysdale down the road. So that is what I need you to tell me for the next episode. It's a short one here, under half hour. Sorry for all the audio issues. I'll be back next episode. I'm glad this was a shorter ep. And I need you to let me know what you think. These are the lines. Remember them. Remember that Henrique could slot in. Slavin's been a pure monster. Let's look at him one more time. 16 points and a plus 20 in 24 games. You absolutely love to see it. Jakob Slavin, man of God, you just love it. So we're going to take a pause there. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.